Every once in a while, I'll come across a story when I'm reading a marriage book. You guys know I really love marriage books that I think encapsulates true love and what ultimately matters in life and the simplicity of that so well that I'll just find it so inspiring. I want to share it. And so I decided I can share it with you guys. So I hope that these two really short little stories that I'm going to read today that are about true love amidst difficulty will inspire you, because they certainly inspire me and encourage me, especially in this day and age where everything is so focused on careers and making money and material things rather than the people God's placed right in front of us. Also, I wanted to say really quick that in this video, there will be some clips of me using some recipes by Simply Earth. They're an essential oil subscription box. I feel a little awkward talking about them in this video because I don't know how to tie it in with the theme of marriage. But that being said, I wanted to mention them because I really enjoy their oils. I love that their subscription box comes with recipes every month. And so I'll have a link down below where you can get $40 off your second purchase if you're interested. Okay, so the first story that I'm going to be reading comes out of a book called Love and Respect. My husband and I read this book 2 falls ago, and I remember in this particular chapter, we were reading it to each other in bed, and we read this story, and I think both of our eyes filled up with a few tears as we read this, just because it was so beautiful and so precious, and it's a rare experience to read about or to witness in other people's lives. There are many ways to show your husband respect. Just look for ways to appreciate his desire to protect and provide, especially when things aren't going well for him. Dr. E.V. Hill, a minister who served as a senior pastor, lost his wife Jane to cancer a few years ago. At her funeral, Dr. Hill described some of the ways she had made him a better man. As a struggling young pastor, E.V. had trouble earning a living. E.V. came home one night and found the house dark. When he opened the door, he saw that Jane had prepared a candlelight dinner for 2. He had thought it was a great idea, and he went to the bathroom to wash his hands. He tried unsuccessfully to turn on the light. Then he felt his way into the bedroom and flipped another switch. Darkness prevailed. The young pastor went back to the dining room and asked Jane why the electricity was off. She began to cry. "You work so hard, and we're trying," said Jane, "but it's pretty tough. I didn't have enough money to pay the light bill. I didn't want you to know about it, so I thought we'd just eat by candlelight." Dr. Hill described his wife's words with intense emotion. She could have said, "I've never been in this situation before. I was reared in the home of Dr. Carthers, and we never had our lights cut off." She could have broken my spirits. She could have ruined me. She could have demoralized me. But instead she said, "Somehow or another, we'll find a way to get these lights back on. But tonight, let's eat by candlelight." I don't know why I've just always found the way that Jane responded to her husband in that situation, where she could have been mean, or she could have made him feel bad, or she could have criticized him. I've just always found that so inspiring and so beautiful. Now, this other story that I wanted to read is out of a book called Courtship After Marriage, and it's written by Zig Ziglar. In this part of the book, he's entitled A Real Love Story. Within the bonds of holy matrimony, the possibility of real love exists. I shall never forget one of the most real and sincere love stories of all time. I was in South Alabama visiting with my brother, Huey Ziglar. His wife, Jewel, had been in Michigan City, Indiana, with their daughter for the birth of their first grandchild. I was seated on the front porch that afternoon. My brother was in the kitchen when his son returned from picking up Jewel at the bus station. They drove into the front yard, and when my brother heard the car door close, he immediately ran from the kitchen to the front yard. By the time he arrived, Jewel was out of the car. They hugged, kissed, and wept like babies as they promised each other never again would they be separated for any reason. As I viewed this tender scene between this little country preacher and his bride for 33 years, I could not help but wonder what it would be like if the television cameras of the world had been turned on this real love story. A love story based on mutual love, respect, and putting the other one first and sacrifice during all their years together. She had borne him 6 beautiful children, 5 fine sons, and a beautiful daughter. She had nursed them through sickness, made most of their clothes, kept a clean house, prepared all the meals, and had been a faithful and loving wife to her husband for all these years. For his part, he had given her his all all his affection, all his devotion, all his loyalty. My brother's income as a country preacher was not nearly enough to support a family, so he had a little farm where he raised their fruits and vegetables. He also had cows, chickens, and hogs that provided food and a small income. Huey and Jewel often reached the end of their financial rope and then simply tied a knot and held on. Materially speaking, they had never had very much, but I can tell you that I've never been in a home where there was so much love and laughter as in that home. Husband and wife were extremely close. Parents and children were extremely close. How marvelous it would be if American children saw love stories like that on a daily basis so they would have some real role models for direction and guidance. I can't even pinpoint why those two particular stories, and I have another one someday I'd like to share as well, just are so motivating to me and encapsulate so beautifully the type of wife that I want to become, the type of family that I feel so blessed to have. And so I just wanted to share those, hoping that maybe they inspire you as well. And I feel like I'm just constantly having to go back to what actually matters and what is of eternal value, because in this day and age, that is not what we are reminded of. Those are the things that we're told don't matter. Throw the people out of the way and go out there and make the money and go out there and be successful. And I think these stories just do a fabulous job reminding us what actually is successful and what actually fills our soul, not just our bank accounts, not just some cool title that we can print on a plaque on our wall, but no one really cares about. So I hope that those stories inspired you today, and have a blessed week. Don't forget to check out those oils if you're interested. And also I will leave a link down below that'll have all my other marriage material, things that I've read. These are not things I've made up, things that I've read that I've found really helpful for marriage. Bye, you guys. Love you.